What really happens in the moments before death? It is a question that has always fascinated and troubled humanity. For centuries, death has been considered a taboo, a mystery to be faced with fear. However, in recent years, doctors and nurses working in the field of palliative care have begun to share extraordinary testimonies about their terminally ill patients. These stories suggest that the moment of death may not represent a definitive end, but rather the beginning of something greater. Today, on our journey with holistic strategy, we will explore experiences and phenomena documented by healthcare professionals, testimonies that challenge our beliefs and offer a new perspective on the mystery of death. Together, we discover touching and extraordinary stories that could forever change the way we look at this inevitable passage. Before you start, remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel and leave your precious like. In this way you will help to always create new content. Now sit back and let's begin this wonderful journey. The moment of death, a farewell or a beginning. Julie McFadden, a palliative care nurse with over 14 years of experience in California, has become a leading figure in documenting near-death phenomena. During her years of service, Julie has collected incredible stories that reveal the possibility of a connection between life and what lies beyond. One of the experiences she remembers most vividly is that of Giovanni, an 82-year-old man who, in his final days, claimed to see his wife Maria, who had died 20 years earlier. Giovanni reported feeling Mary's presence at his bedside, describing her as radiant and serene. His visions were so vivid that they did not seem to be a product of his imagination. One particularly significant episode occurred when Giovanni described Mary in a bright room filled with flowers, an image that recalled the garden they had tended together in their youth. The serenity that these visions brought to Giovanni also reflected on his family, offering comfort and hope in times of greatest sorrow. Testimonies of professionals and the encounter with the inexplicable. Many health professionals hesitate to share similar experiences for fear of being judged or misunderstood. However, some stories find the courage to emerge. David Kessler, a palliative care expert, has documented cases that defy rational explanation. Among them is that of Dora, a 76-year-old woman who, in her final days, described seeing her deceased mother sitting next to her. Her description was so detailed that it included the dress her mother had worn to her granddaughter's wedding, a detail that only Dora would have known. In another case documented by Kessler, a terminally ill woman suddenly rose from her bed, raised her hands in the air, and declared, "The gates of heaven are open," before passing away peacefully with a smile. This event shocked medical personnel, even those who were skeptical of paranormal phenomena. Another extraordinary testimony concerns a 54-year-old man who, moments before dying, described a luminous bridge that led him to a place of peace. Turning to his wife, he said, "I will wait for you there, when your time comes." These words, full of love and hope, gave his wife a new perspective on death, transforming pain into an opportunity for reflection and spiritual growth. Unexplained phenomena, the terminal rally and the visions. One of the most curious phenomena observed by Julie McFadden is the so-called terminal rally. This event consists of a sudden and temporary improvement in the physical and mental condition of terminally ill patients, often a few hours or days before their death. A particularly touching case was that of Luca, a 29-year-old young man suffering from an incurable disease. After weeks of hospitalization, Luca one day got out of bed, asked for his favorite dish, and spent hours talking with friends. 2 days later, Luca passed away peacefully, leaving an indelible memory in the hearts of those who loved him. Another intriguing aspect is the visions of loved ones. Clara, a 67-year-old woman, reported seeing her daughter who had died in a car accident years before. Clara described these visions as deeply reassuring, stating that her daughter was holding her hand and leading her to a place of peace. Similar episodes demonstrate how these phenomena can provide comfort to both patients and their families, transforming grief into an experience of love and connection. Animals as spiritual companions. A fascinating element that emerged from the experiences collected by Julie McFadden concerns the behavior of animals towards terminal patients. In particular, Julie tells of Max, a dog who seemed to have extraordinary empathy. Max sensed the moment of impending death and spent hours beside the patients, showing a comforting and loving presence. One story Julie recalls with emotion involves an elderly patient who, shortly before dying, leaned toward Max and whispered, "Thank you for being here." In another instance, Max reached out to the daughter of a recently deceased patient and gently placed his head in her lap. This simple gesture brought the woman to tears, offering comfort beyond words. Death as transformation. Many of these episodes seem to suggest that death is not a purely biological event, but a meaningful and transformative experience. Julie herself describes a personal event that changed her view of death. On the day Marco, a patient tormented by fear of what lay ahead, died, Julie felt a sense of deep peace as she drove home. In her mind, she clearly heard Marco's voice saying, "If only I had known that death was so beautiful, I would never have been afraid of it." This event reinforced Julie's belief that death is a passage to something wonderful. Testimonies from doctors, nurses, and terminally ill patients offer a unique glimpse into what might happen in the moments before death. These stories, often accompanied by inexplicable phenomena, invite us to reflect on the nature of life and what might lie beyond. Death, far from being a definitive end, could represent a journey into a new dimension, full of love, peace, and connection. And you, have you ever lived or heard similar experiences? Share your story in the comments and join the conversation on holistic strategy. If this content has inspired you, don't forget to turn on channel notifications to continue our journey of personal and spiritual growth. Please share with anyone you think might benefit. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of the mystery of life and death. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.